Do, 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 do.
I wish y'all could hear what I hear.
You ready?
I will be.
Do, do, boom, boom,
I'm
boom,
trying to
boom.
get both of us on here. Fix it. Oops. Can you fix it, Jack? I'm getting static. Are you able to turn it? There you go. Mm-hmm. That's good.
I
Can you
think
tilt
we-
it back a little bit more?
Hey, everybody. Can y'all see me? I'm sitting here like, boom, 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 boom.
Stupid.
All right.
Stupid.
Welcome, everybody. This is the quarantine. This is July 31st, 2020. This is the year of, unfortunately, the coronavirus, the COVID-19. And this is, again, the quarantine. I am Dre Otis, and this is...
This is Cash, better known as Cash Cam. And hello and welcome to our show.
Well, I want to start off with this. Today is July 31st, 2020. The day that the $600, I believe it's called the PUC, Pandemic Unemployment Credit or something like that.
Pandemic unemployment insurance.
It ends today. So, with that being said, we have yet to have reached a deal with any extension. And the fact that it hits me, it hits home, I'm sitting here like, what the y'all doing?
You can cuss, we are on internet radio.
I don't want to do that because of my affiliations, and I don't want to disrespect her.
Right, and don't
do anything like
disrespect
that.
me.
But this is the day of the door kick-ins, the robberies, the things like that, the things that are possibly going to happen when we have something like this going on. You have people that's not working. You have people that don't know how they're going to pay bills after today. But we have an office per se that just really doesn't get it. This isn't time to play. This isn't time to play politics. This is something serious. You have lives that are really in the holds here. Mine's been included. This impacts me very much. Because of the fact that I am a furloughed employee with the city of Detroit.
Yeah.
So with that being said, today's numbers: 734 new cases, 8 more deaths, 80,000 plus cases in the state of Michigan. And that's just the state of Michigan. But what boggles me is the people that sit around and say this thing is a hoax, it's a game. And again, once again, me and you know people personally
Yes.
that have died
Yes.
from COVID-19, coronavirus, China virus, Trump virus, what I call it.
Wuhan virus, whatever Trump wants to call it. So number 45 is, what's a good word for it?
A virus.
Yeah. Okay, so
He has been
I like
a
that
4-year
one.
virus.
He has been a virus all on his own. It's fake. Everything is fake news.
Right.
What is he talking about? For a president of the United States to not accept responsibility for the things that he does and says and for what he encourages is disrespectful, is disheartening, and unfortunately we can't avoid it. And what do we do with this? What do we do with number 45? Because that's what he is. He's
What
just
do
a
you
number
do?
at this
What do you
point.
do?
He's a number.
You show up in November and you fire him. You get your friends and family inspired to show up in November and fire him. This is what you do with 45. Since we know that he isn't for the people, since we know that he has really no plan to take care of this virus, I say it like T.I. Let's remove him expeditiously.
Say that word again.
Expeditiously.
What does that mean? Just for the
Hurry up.
Hurry up.
For the people in the back, hurry up.
Hurry up.
Let's go ahead and get him out of here.
Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Smoking gun.
Come on.
As quick as we can go.
Let's do it.
Bust something up in the air.
What you say?
As quick as we can go, fill that bubble in November and get rid of 4-5.
4-5. He got to go.
Go fill in the bubble to get rid of 4-5.
Right. So now, remember, we have the primary election on August 4th. Is that Tuesday, correct? So it's coming
Yes,
up
it
next
is.
week. And on the primary ballot, we have the elections for
know
Wayne
what?
County Sheriff, state representatives, and what's important is we are in the city of Detroit doing this show, and you and I, we live in the city of Detroit.
Yes, we do.
And we also have some candidates here. We have 3 candidates, and we'll introduce them later. I'll let you introduce them, but they represent the city of Detroit.
You know what? I want to say one thing. Have you recently seen that John James commercial where he's jumping over all the hula hoops and he's lifting up all these people over the wall and they're standing at the end of the wall? Have you seen how many times they cut away? I don't really believe that was him that entire time. I advise y'all go out there and look up the John James commercial where he's flipping people over the wall. He's
Right.
flipping people over a wall
Right.
like he's still in military training. And I found it to be the most hilarious thing that I saw today. So, with that being said, it is 7:05, which leads us to our cash spot. Latrice Cash, take it
And
away.
it's time for Cash Cam. Woohoo, here I am. So, I want to talk about women's suffrage and the women's suffrage movement. And there's a reason for this. The women's suffrage movement, it took a total of 10 years. Can you believe this? 10 years. But really it took longer, but 10 years of strong effort for women to earn the right to vote. And it took activists and reformers. And in this activists and reformers, it also included Frederick Douglass and Sojourner Truth. Did I say that right? Sojourner Truth.
Sojourner Truth. You
They
good.
were both abolitionists and activists, and they were born slaves, and they took control of the situation. They took control in society, and they said, hey, we're not going to have this. And so with this right for women to vote, it did not include only black women. This included all women, all races, all ages. And that was very important. And they circulated petitions and they lobbied Congress to pass these amendments for women to vote. Now, why is this important? One reason, we have a lot of women who run this country in the Senate, in the Congress, state representatives, and also on city councils. Now, I'm not talking about just in Detroit, Michigan, or the state of Michigan. I'm talking about nationwide. Women make up a large proportion of society. And with that, they represent the needs of women, and they understand the needs of women and in society from a completely different perspective of males, regardless of race and age. They understand the needs. So, here we go. Why do we need women to vote? And how does that affect our families and society? What it does is it enables women, it gives women empowerment. And a lot of people confuse women's empowerment with the right to have an abortion. That's not all women's empowerment is about. Women's empowerment is about, of course, the right to vote, the right to work, equal pay, the right to walk down the street regardless of what they're wearing, and to not be sexually harassed or catcalled. There's so many other reasons why women need to vote. Now, with that reason to vote, and how does this relate to men? Well, let me tell you. Family unity. If a woman is not happy at home, that's not a happy home. If a woman does not have a happy home, your children and your men and your husbands and your boyfriends and your brothers and your fathers, no one is happy at home. If you have an unhappy home, oh boy, what you say, it's a whole lot to deal with, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Women control a lot of things without understanding their power, without understanding how much they mold society. Women mold the children, the uncles, the fathers. We need them. Women empower and encourage the children to become educators and to become engineers. I mean, what is it that people don't understand about this? So, with that being said, this is the women's suffrage movement. And this is coming up the women's suffrage anniversary.
Okay.
And so, what I want people to do is to
What date is that?
On Saturday.
Okay.
What day is Saturday? That's tomorrow.
August 1st.
August 1st. August 1st, 2020. In the city of Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
State representative candidate Ivy Nicole Neal. And I'll say that again.
Okay.
State representative candidate Ivy Nicole Neal is having a rally for the women's movement for women's suffrage. And they will be meeting, excuse me, at 4 p.m. at the Spirit of Detroit at the corner of Larned and Woodward Avenue in downtown Detroit. So, women, show up. Bring your children. Bring your boyfriends. Bring your husbands. And we're going to rally. We need women to be an example of what it's like to take control and to empower and to give a positive message.
Right.
Okay? So, women, if we vote, we can encourage our men to vote, to register. I don't know. To register to vote. And say, hey, we need you out there. We need you. We got one of our potential candidates, well, one of our candidates walking in right now. That's Marcus Cummings. So it's time for me to end, but I want to remind you, tomorrow, Saturday, August 1st, candidate for state representative Ivy Nicole Neal is having a rally at the Spirit of Detroit downtown at the corner of Woodward and Learning. And speaking will be Tashana, the political Princess Gill, who also is the political director for Governor Gretchen Whitmer here in the state of Michigan. We will also have State Representative Sherry Dagnago, and we will have Dr. Napanji Thomas, and we will also have a commissioner for the Detroit Charter Commission, Nicole Small, and I will be the hype person. So come and see me. Come see all of us and say hello and get happy and get excited about voting on August 4th. And thank you, Marcus.
Well, people, I want to say real quick that if you want to see somebody in a prom dress, come see the beautiful Latrice Cash. She's going to, I know if she's the hype person, it's going to look good because she came in here. Man, y'all should see her.
He need to stop.
Y'all should see her.
I
thought I came dressed, but she came dressed to impress. So with that being said,
it will not be a prom dress, by the way, on Saturday. It will be something suitable and funky fresh.
Fellas, she's single. She is single. So guess what? I don't want to speak for her. I think she's ready to mingle. So if you want to come on down.
He got Marcus Cummings, our candidate for the state district, for state representative District 10 over here laughing. So yes, I will leave it like that. Thank you, Otis. Thank you very much.
So with that being said, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Your his phone is going crazy. You can't hear it, but notifications everywhere. Go ahead.
If there's something that just made my room tingle, I looked up and I thought I seen a defensive tackle from Detroit Lions walk in, but this is state rep candidate Marcus Cummings that just walked in. I believe what is this? District 9 you running
District
for?
10.
District 10. I don't know why I keep saying District 9 is District 10.
But my father, Mark Cummings, is running in District 9.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ndamukong Suh.
He's a linebacker, y'all. He's a linebacker.
That's a whole defensive tackle. I needed him when I played some games to alleviate some of them quarterbacks and receivers off of me.
Marcus is the whole defensive team, okay?
I'm telling you, I'm ready to go tackle some Republicans. So
Come on now.
All right now.
Let's do this.
So, first off, let me ask you, since you are here, what made you decide to run?
Well, first, good evening.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
And Miss Cash, you are beautiful in this wonderful prom dress.
Thank you very much. Look, I don't want to wear this again. I'm going to wear it to church only, but go ahead, Marcus.
It's funny, actually. Looking at the field of candidates, and there's some great folks in the race, but I decided now was a good time. A lot of folks weren't talking to some of the issues that concern me going forward for our city and our state. Biggest thing for me, pensions. So that was one thing I didn't hear a lot of candidates talking about. Our state pensions are underfunded, as we know. Our city pensions, definitely, we have a huge liability cost coming up, $400 million by 2024. Nobody was talking about it. I want to make sure we get our fiscal house in order in Lansing.
Okay. Now, when you say city pensions, is that something the state can help with?
Yes. Okay. I mean, you figure the grand bargain was a state.
Right.
So the biggest thing for me is going up to Lansing, finding dedicated funding, one for our state pensions, and also help for our municipalities and their pensions. It's not just a Detroit issue.
Yes, sir.
We look at all the cities, whether it's Redford Township in my district or all over the state of Michigan. They are, and right now with COVID-19, struggling financially. And they're going to struggle even more with their liability costs and their legacy costs.
Okay. What is your ultimate goal if elected as state rep?
The ultimate goal, actually, I would love to get 3 pieces of legislation passed my first year. The biggest thing for us is, one, raising revenue.
Okay.
We're going to have to look at possibly a ballot initiative, raise our state sales tax.
Okay.
Eliminating and repealing the Snyder pension tax is going to be key. That's one of the first things I want to hit the ground running. The governor stated she wanted to do it this last budget cycle. They couldn't get a deal with Republicans. I want to make sure we get that Snyder pension tax repealed as quickly as possible. And third, education. I'm not a big fan of PA 306, the third grade reading law. I want to see if we can repeal and replace that. I don't think we should hold kids back in third grade for not being able to read at the third grade level, but we should be doing tracking from third to sixth grade when it comes to reading and reading comprehension, and put more funding behind literacy programs.
How likely, with this being 2020, with the pandemic going on and everything, how likely is it that this year we can actually get Democrats in the House, in the Senate, or whatever seats are?
Well, in the House. Senate will be 2022 in the House. I think we can take back the House. It'll be slim, but I believe we can take back the House. The Senate's going to be another story, because by 2022, most of all our districts will be redrawn due to the census. So we'll have to see what this new commission draws up. And unfortunately, I believe Detroit might lose either a House seat or a Senate seat.
Okay. Ms. Cash, you have any questions?
Question.
Answer.
You know, I'm always thinking about something. So, in regards to COVID-19, and I think we've discussed this before, in regards to COVID-19, what are your feelings and your thoughts about children returning to school? And I know you do have small children yourself, right? One.
Don't put more on me.
I'm sorry. we can't do that.
Don't put that evil on me.
But what are your thoughts about children returning to school, and what would be your plan for staggering a plan to return to school, like a stage 2, stage 3, stage 4?
So I'm glad you asked that question. My son will be 7 on August 8th, and I just had this conversation with his mother. We were neither one of us feel comfortable with him going back to school if school were to start after Labor Day, because he's going into second grade, and we know kindergarten through second grade or even third, you can't socially distance kids.
No.
They're going to run, they're going to play, they're going to touch, they're going to interact with things. And we have to look out for our families. And there are too many families, especially in the city of Detroit, where grandma and grandpa are either watching the kids or they are the guardians. And we don't want to put our elderly population at risk. Right now, I want to, from middle school to high school, I think should be our focus, staggering those classes. We should have some interaction with kids at the elementary school level, but I think we should focus more so on homeschooling, at least until January.
Okay. Now I got another question. Homeschooling is a possibility, and then also the online learning. I know since the pandemic started in March, I know a few teachers who have tried the online learning, and it was stressful for them and for the students. My question is, what do you think, and this is just an idea that I have, what do you think about just taking a complete break from school for 6 to 9 months until they get this COVID-19 under control? And with that being said, all the children in the state, all the children in the country, if there was a consensus on this, just everybody just miss school for a year.
Wait a minute.
And then pick up where you left off.
Before
What do you think about that?
Are you saying like literally not going to school or online or anything?
I mean, you can homeschool, but just
Because I mean that's my fear that
right.
we're going to end up not having any school because let's just be real about this. This damn thing, we don't know where it is, who it is, what it look like, where it's coming from, or anything. So I just want to be cautious, when we say taking our entire year off, because I mean, unfortunately, we're facing something that we've never faced before, and I mean that I don't want. If you don't mind, we're gonna make that the last question because of time restrictions.
We got two other candidates coming in.
But with that, that just scares me. But go ahead and answer that for me, please.
I'm gonna say no. I mean, unfortunately, our kids have been on an extended summer vacation since March. We have to do some learning. The other thing, too, that we understand is school isn't just, it's an outlet, too. For kids to express themselves, meet with their peers. And in some cases, it's a safety outlet. So I do understand that. Like I said, we need to focus on our older kids, staggering them back in middle school and high school. The younger kids, if we can, homeschool and talk about going back in January. I'm hopeful we can see a vaccine hopefully by January, February. Okay. So if all the trials go well. And I know if it's made mandatory for our kids to take it, if my son has to get it, I'll be the first in line to get the vaccine.
So you're willing to take the vaccine?
If my son has to get it, I'm going to get it.
Oh, okay.
All right. With that being said, this is State Rep District
10
candidate Marcus Cummings. I ain't taking no vaccine, and neither is my son, so please don't try to recommend it because we going to jail. But with that being said,
what you say? You're not taking my
I ain't
DNA.
doing it. I can't do it.
I'm not taking no vaccine, no sir.
This is WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest stations in the world, and we'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes with our next guest, State Rep candidate Cynthia Thornton of District 7.
District 7.
All right. We'll
Come
be right
on,
back.
Cynthia. Thank you for watching and listening to us. Thank you, Marcus.
Appreciate y'all. Where's my Cynthia? She here?
Yeah. You can leave the door open.
Okay.
There's some air in here. It's hot. So, they don't realize that this is a live show. Hello. This is a live show, and you don't just get up and walk out the room. So, my cohort, Eandre, Dre, Otis, come on, Cynthia, have a seat, put on your earphones. He just decided to walk out. So, it's all right. We're going to be okay. And we want to welcome Cynthia.
Be all right.
Yeah, it's all right, girl. It's all right. It is all right.
Oh, yeah.
So,
There it is.
Dre is going to come back, so he was starting off with the questions. So, first I want to introduce State Rep candidate Cynthia Thornton. She is grassroots. She is an activist, and you're a strong activist in the LGBTQ community, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, and she is going and representing State District 7, which is also in the city of Detroit. So tell me, why did you decide to run for state rep, and what is your platform?
It just became time. Since 2015, I've had union brothers and sisters saying, why aren't you running? And the reason they were asking is because I'm a truth to power person. I broach the difficult topics. And they felt like if you can do that around LGBT issues, then you can absolutely do it. Are we good? Is that me?
No, that's my phone up there. I'm sorry. Let me pause for a moment. We're going live. This is WJZZ Cool TV, and we are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Instagram, and someone is calling one of my phones. There we go. It ended. So thank you for listening. Continue, Cynthia Thornton. We have Cynthia Thornton here in the studio.
Yeah, they just felt like you don't have a problem speaking up to anyone. You don't care anything about their position or their rank, and you tell it like it is. I felt like I needed that voice to stay out in the community on behalf of the people. But eventually I agreed with them and said that it really needed to be a voice that went to the legislature. We're at a time where too many things that have progressed for people, marginalized people, are going in reverse. And for me, as a lesbian of color in particular, the fact that civil rights is in retrograde instead of progressing is a real problem. So there is no out lesbian in the state legislature. There is no LGBT person of color. We still don't have protections under law. So if I did not have a union contract, I could just be fired. They could say, we don't want no gay folks here, see ya, and it would be perfectly lawful. And for me to see so many people not be able to have a job despite their qualifications, combined with people telling me, you've got the voice and you're willing to use it, run so we can vote for you, that's why I'm running.
I like that. So I have a question for you.
Sure.
And I know that this is a big problem in the LGBTQ community, and that is transgender women being attacked, and a lot of them losing their lives by the time, the age of 30, 35. Far as that is concerned, what can you do within the state, being a state representative? What type of legislation could you pass or encourage in order to get that to end? What type of protections can we offer for the LGBTQ community? Because everybody is people and everybody deserves safety and peace of mind and joy.
Absolutely. And I'll push back on one thing. They don't lose their lives. Somebody takes it.
Right.
So I always resist that particular euphemism. No disrespect to you.
I understand.
But in terms of the law, even when this Title VII was passed in 1964, you're not going to stop people's behavior by passing a law. What you do is give recourse to those who are targeted. So education is a huge piece, and that's part of what I do with Pride at Work Michigan, which is an LGBT labor organization. But really, this is about human rights. As you said, everyone has a right to live. So there is no law that's going to stop a physical assault or murder. But what it does is present, these are the consequences. Right now, we have an environment that almost quietly says, no problem. Although it's changing, obviously, with the units that have been formed with the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, obviously now with Dana Nussel being the state attorney, people are on notice.
Yeah.
But the whole idea is before you get to the point where you're worried about your safety, if you can't make a living, you're vulnerable anyway.
Yes.
If you can't make it money to put a roof over your house and feed yourself, you're already put in an environment that puts you at high risk.
Yes.
But we as a society need to let people know it's not acceptable. And one thing that I've learned over my years of advocacy is where I spend a lot of time educating union people about LGBT issues. What I found is that the allies are really in jeopardy now. I often have people come up to me after an event, and it's usually somebody straight telling me about their gay son who finally was able to marry his long-term partner, or how they were just able to adopt their first child. So it's really a human issue, and it does not just affect the actual LGBT folks. It actually affects everyone.
It affects everyone. Do you have any questions, Dre?
Yes, I do. Well, first off, thank you, Ms. Cynthia Thornton, for joining us tonight. This is a historic night for us because this is our first night of people interviewing and being live in our studio
All right, that's
with
what's up.
us, so we appreciate it.
Congratulations.
First off, let me congratulate you on being an official alumni of the Michigan Political Leadership Program, which is called the MPLP, which Ms. Thornton was so gracefully enough to help me get involved in, so I will be an alumni with her soon. So I want to first off say, how has been your experience since the end of that, going into, I guess we can call it the coronavirus era, the COVID-19, the Trump virus era?
Trump virus.
How has it been, you know, knowing that you were supposed to have a little graduation ceremony, things like that, to compare to not knowing what's going on?
I'm gonna tell you something. When I look at history,
Uh huh.
and I consider myself to be somewhat a student of history, while this was unfortunate and inconvenient and a whole lot of things, it is not as bad as many things that we have survived.
Okay.
And we don't have to go all the way back to the slave ships.
No,
There's
we
been a
don't.
lot of
No, we
things that
don't.
have happened in between.
Yeah.
And so I think to the extent that we keep talking about it as if it's something that is just unable to be conquered, that we're feeding into something that we don't need to. We need to talk about what we can do, what we're able to do, and practice those things. Absolutely, I was tired of looking at the same four walls and all the the inconveniences that came with it.
Right.
But given some of the alternatives, as bad as the many deaths, I mean, I was definitely down and out, considered not even running because I just didn't feel like it after losing so many people.
Right.
So, but there, for me, whenever there's hard times, I think about our ancestors and all that they had to overcome. And suddenly, whatever I'm dealing with just is not so bad.
So, has there been a date set for, I guess, his graduation or anything?
Yeah, there are emails going back and forth, but I am all about this campaign. If it doesn't,
I definitely understand that. I understand
so
that.
It's like I can't afford the distraction. I'm out here
right.
working my butt off now that we're not locked in.
How has the campaign been going so far?
I've been real happy. The feedback that I've been getting, the endorsements from labor, the endorsements from LGBT organizations, businessmen. My thing was I want people to see, to take Jesse's. I wanted to see a rainbow coalition because that's how I see this city. I think that Detroit is and should remain a majority black city, and there's nothing about it being a black city that means it should not be a prosperous city. Everybody is welcome here.
Yes, ma'am.
But as far as I'm concerned, you can't come in and change the identity of a city. If you come into a community, you come into to be part of that community, not to change it into your vision.
Right.
And unfortunately, I see too much of that going on. And that, of course, harkens to colonialism, really. You come to a land, ooh, there it is. I can take it. I can buy it. And I can make it in my image. And unfortunately, this seems like a modern version of that, but I don't think it needs to stay that way. But it's up to Detroiters, Highland Parkers, marginalized people to step up and use their voices and use their vote.
All right. With that being said, you have about 30 seconds to close out. Any closing remarks you have?
Here's the bottom line, folks. If somebody is trying to take something from you, it must have value. So when people are trying to take your vote, recognize that it has value and use it. Don't give it away. So go out on the 4th, and if you don't want to go out on the 4th, get an absentee ballot. Don't give it away. It's your opportunity to change the direction of both of these cities and the state. Enjoy what you can while you can, but do it safely. And have a great one.
Can you register to vote on August 4th?
Absolutely.
At the polling place?
You absolutely can.
All
you
right.
can do everything in one day if that's the way it needs to go. If that's when you feel motivated, you wake up at 12:01 on August 4th and say, I'm going to vote, you can. And you should.
All right. Well, here it is. State Rep candidate Cynthia Thornton of District 7 of
Thank you
the
so much.
great state of Michigan.
As
All
my
right.
mask says, vote.
Vote.
It says vote.
All right. Well,
So
thank
with that
you
being-
very much,
Uh-huh.
Cynthia Thornton.
Thank
you
you.
for joining us.
With that being said, we're going to take another couple of minute break. And this is WJZZ, Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. All right.
Cool. Are we on break? I thought we were continuous.
We got to bring somebody else in. That's a break.
We have our next.
And she said that out loud.
We have our next. I can't hear. Candidate in here. Can you fix that for me, Dre?
What we fixing?
Just push it back.
Push it like OG Genesis.
Yeah. Way back. Yeah. There we go. Yep, that works.
What is this?
Yeah, move that out the way. That's what it is. I thought that was her mic.
Y'all don't need to see me down there.
So welcome.
Thank
So,
you.
let me get ready to introduce our next guest.
Move it.
This is Miss Rosalind Ogburn. She is running for state rep of District Number 9
Yes.
District 9.
in the great state of Michigan. Everybody give a round of applause for Rosalind.
Woo, woo,
We
woo.
gonna give her a round.
Rise.
Thank you.
Our
Thank
girl
you.
Rosalind.
First off, before we get to answer any questions, I just wanted to put it out there. This is not a show of endorsements. We don't have that juice yet.
Nope.
No matter what I might want, who I might want, I can't endorse nothing. So if you call my phone asking me about why somebody was on here, because there was a Facebook post put out there that said if you wanted to get on this show, contact us. If you didn't,
Oh well, so sad. Too bad.
don't call me crying about nothing.
Don't do it.
Don't inbox me. Don't text me. With that being said, hey Roz, how you doing, sweetie?
Hi, Rosalind.
Hello. Oh, this
We're
hello,
so
Latrice.
happy to have you here. And tell us, what is your platform and your history in the community? How did you get involved in being an activist and grassroots?
Well, my platform is focusing on maintaining black families in their home and also water affordability and making sure we actually survive COVID-19. So focus more on healthcare and health services available to our residents. And so we say, how do I get in the community or get in community engaged? For the last 20 years, I've been doing community organizing work. Started off just following my daughter in school. I have one daughter, 4 boys. And so by starting off as LSCO, like secretary, and engaged within 10 years as LSCO president, I started identifying certain things that was going on in the community, from our homes being displaced, schools being closed, and so forth. So I became politically engaged. And then 2011, I bought my home in the Warrendale community. I became Block Club president, precinct delegate, part of our radio patrol. And then 4 years ago, I became a housing organizer of Detroit Action, formerly known as Good Jobs Now. And my main campaign was keeping families in their homes and stopping the foreclosure of occupied homes. At the time, my district had 7,000 homes up for foreclosures. And I was talking to my legislative officials and individuals that I felt that could address those issues. So 2 years ago, our current representative, Karen Winsett, was in seat. I asked her about addressing these housing issues and what policies she would like to create. That was not at the forefront of her agenda. She was focusing on removing our catastrophic coverage and other agendas, but housing stock, rent control, water affordability was not something that she wanted to address. So I started creating relationships with Wendell Bird, Cynthia A. Johnson, Isaac Robinson at a high capacity, and start actually working on policies that keep families in their homes. And under our leadership with our team, the Detroit Action, we actually moved the bill 5124, which was the pay to stay. It did not end up how we originated. It didn't cover everyone. Right. But the reality is that's really moving policies that actually making sure families stay in their home. And so as legislative, when I'm elected, that is the first thing I'm going to make sure, working along with grassroots organizations and people that are already at the table to ensure that there are literally policies written to make sure we stay in our home. Make sure we have policies that actually make sure rent is affordable and access to clean water.
So, what exactly? I'm sorry.
Oh, I just wanted to do a follow-up question. Okay. So you were saying that you already have a current relationship with Wendell Bird, Isaac Robinson, the late Isaac Robinson, and Cynthia A. Johnson, and they're all state representatives currently.
Yes.
Yeah, so you've already built a relationship with the state representatives and have some type of governmental and grassroots and activism background.
Yes. Due to, of course, just the community engagement work, and as being an organizer of Detroit Action, I had the opportunity to travel across the country and actually talk to these individuals in leadership. My stronger relationships was with Cynthia A. Johnson and Isaac Robinson, because they were specifically focused on the housing policies, economic stimulation, and then, of course, making sure that our neighborhood had everything that that they needed. Wendell Bird specifically assisted us with the understanding of how the bill protecting homeownerships was sunsetting.
Okay.
And so that's what we conclude, that there's different language up at the state. And so you do need assistance
Yes.
Translating that. And so what you have to create is relationships, like you said, Latrice.
Yes.
You must understand what is already moving, policies that are already existing, but really knowing where we need to help fortify and secure. So when we, like we said, make that actual extension on these policies, they actually can capture people, and we can stabilize communities.
Okay. Go ahead, Dre.
Okay.
He thinking.
No, it's not that I'm thinking. I don't want to ruffle any feathers tonight. I do that on our own.
Oh yeah.
No, go ahead. Y'all got, what we got? Hot 20
This is
minutes.
how-
Well, you know what? I take that.
This
Make
is the
'em-
quarantine.
And you
on
know,
full
yes.
TV.
And you already know people was like,
WJZZ.
you've not been talking, so let's go. Y'all know,
What-
I'm at home. I'm with
You
the squad
are-
right now.
What state rep? Not state rep. What congressional district do you represent?
13th
That's what I
Congressional District, the mighty 13th.
Item 13,
With Rashida Tlaib, which I'm in a line with, which
Yes.
I am endorsed with, which
Yes.
I am going to do great and amazing work
Yes.
with to represent our district. So go ahead. You know, I had to
So
get my
with
I'm
that
in
being
that
said-
congressional,
with
I'm in
that
that
being
congressional
said-
district too.
Damn it.
Rashida Tlaib, we're going to give you a shout out
That
right
leads
now.
me
I was
to
Like
at
no other.
14, Brenda Lawrence.
Yes.
that
Two
leads-
wonderful ladies.
That
Women's
leads me
suffrage.
to my next question. Did you hear about the press conference that was held by the Michigan Democratic Party Black Caucus the other day about
No, I did not.
Rashida Tlaib not endorsing Joe Biden yet?
No, I did not.
Yeah, it was something I just happened to run across earlier, and I just didn't know if you heard about it or if you had any feelings about it. My thing is this. Some of us do too much talking outside. Instead of taking some of these conversations behind closed doors and putting them in public, everybody talks too damn much. If you have a problem with somebody and you are taking pictures with them, if you smile with them, if you had a drink with them, if you've broken bread with them, there's no reason that you can't talk to them behind closed doors about anything that you might have a problem with. When we get to the point to where we are now, where we got to get rid of somebody like the current president because of the many things this guy has done in 4 years. In 4 years.
Oh, Lord.
It's no longer about personal problems because of the color of your skin or who you might look like. Because I'm going to be telling you, as somebody that takes pride in working for who I work for, working in the community I work for, knowing that in the next couple of weeks, I might not know what I'm doing next, it troubles me. Because of where my head has been before. What I've had to do to feed my kids. What I've had to do to maintain my home. We're in some troubling times, and I mean, if you don't have people that have your back, and I'm not saying and nobody in that race doesn't have anybody's back. That's not what I'm saying. But damn, some of these things can be talked about behind closed doors. Everything doesn't have to be out. And I'm telling y'all that from somebody that don't mind cussing you out in public.
What you
Some
say?
of these things can be talked about behind closed doors.
Yes.
It could be.
But
I totally agree with that. And like you're saying, we've had a couple conversations about Joe. The reality and the facts is that the ballots are out, and there is only one presidential Democratic candidate on the ballot,
right.
and it's Joe Biden. Finished, said, and done. Bottom line. When you get the ballot, you only get that option.
Yeah.
And so like you saying, if we're waiting on endorsements, my ballot is already sent in and gone.
Yes, ma'am.
The conversation is the current seated person must be removed.
Yes, ma'am. No. We're firing his ass.
Fire
must be
him.
removed.
Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
And so that's to me where the conversation, like, I've had multiple conversations of back and forth. The reality is the ballots are printed, they're mailed, and by Tuesday the decision will be made. You see what I'm trying to say? We can continue, like you said, we can continue to have these conversations behind closed doors and et cetera, et cetera. But the reality is August 4th, November 3rd, period.
That's it.
What we need to do.
People, the man wants to delay the election.
Negative.
What does that tell you?
What you say?
What does that tell
Did
you?
you hear me?
That
The
means
dates.
he trying to throw a monkey wrench in the game. So people don't vote, they forget. You might accidentally throw your ballot away. Oh, some more
There you
people
go.
might pass away
Nah.
from COVID-19.
That's it, come on.
Or they too sick to leave the house. Oh, they gonna go to the voting polls and they gonna make more people sick. Come on now.
Yeah.
Give me some adjectives about the primary election on August 4th and the presidential election in November. Give me some adjectives.
The adjectives I want to get toward August 4th, I'm excited. I'm exuberated. I'm uplifted because we're focusing on our future. But the reality is, what I want to just put a pin before we go to November 3rd, is that our voters must be educated. I am knocking the doors and touching base with my residents, but I had a resident say she going to vote online. I said, so wait a minute, excuse me, ma'am? So she like, yeah, I'm voting online. No, ma'am, you can't vote online. So I need to make sure we're all educated, because if you're still waiting on your ballot,
Yes, ma'am.
and you have not received your ballot, we are telling individuals, go directly to your post. Go to your city clerk office or go to the satellite locations. Or if you want to go in on August 4th and go to your post, ensure that you know your poll is going to be open and you know where to go. So in our communities, I think awareness and education is the number one thing that we should be talking right now.
Yeah.
See, so we know Detroit has a low voting turnout. But the reality is we must get our voices heard.
Right.
The situations that are occurring with our unemployment being delayed, situations that's going on with lack of health services being provided while we're trying to survive COVID-19. If we don't allow the residents to have the information that they need to be able to have their voices heard, I think we are doing an injustice during this time. There's so many distractions that our current seated representation in D.C. is doing to try to throw us. You already said it.
Yeah.
He's saying stuff out loud right now.
You have to read between
That's
the lines.
That's it.
He's saying exactly what he wants, and people are not repeating it. People are not acknowledging that that's what he wants, to throw the election.
Right.
That he wants more people to get sick and pass on, and then claim that the election is rigged because they filled out their ballot and they mailed it, but after they mailed it, they passed away. So technically that would be a rigged or illegal election. So then what happens next? We can't have this. Go to the polls, make sure you get your ballots in the mail, send them suckers in.
Yes.
Quit playing. Quick, fast, in a hurry. What we gonna do, Dre? We gonna fire him. What you say? Say it real good. Say it real good.
We gonna fire his ass.
Say it one more time, honey.
We gonna fire his ass.
Yes, he is out of
We
there.
gonna kick him out.
He gotta
We're not
go.
gonna
He gotta
kick
go.
his butt, but
He gotta
we gonna kick his butt out
With
of the
that
White
being
House.
said, we can go on and on and all night long, like
Yes.
we know how to do.
Yes.
But I just have to say thank you again to the beautiful
Right.
Ms. Rosalind Ogburn.
Thank you very much.
State Rep
Rosalind.
District 9 candidate. Closing remarks. I asked you where we can contact you. What are your boundaries?
Yes, so you can contact me at Roslyn, ROSLYN, M for Marie, Ogburn, OGBURN.com. You can sign up to volunteer. We got phone banking. We're doing canvassing. And if you just want to contribute to ensure my success to Lansing, everyone know I'm trying to make sure that we survive COVID-19. We literally have state leadership protecting our housing stock, and we literally have access to clean and affordable water. I thank you. You know, I call Otis, even though he Dre, I call him by his last name. Otis and Latrice for this opportunity to be able to talk to the community. This is truly a privilege. You guys, you know, it made me feel like I'm at home, feeling so welcome into this
All
space.
right.
And so thank you once again. You know how we do this. Let's
Yes.
continually touch the community and let them know that we care. And I think that everyone to be safe and healthy. Thank you very
And
much for
I
the
hope to
opportunity.
see you and Cynthia Thornton tomorrow, 4 o'clock, at the Spirit of Detroit, Woodward and Lerner, and for a rally for Ivy Nicole. She's also running for state rep, and they're going to walk 1 mile
Okay.
back and forth down Lerner and then return back to the Spirit of Detroit.
Oh, awesome.
Tashana, the political princess Gill, will be there. Sherry Gay-Dagnago, Commissioner Nicole Small, and myself and Dr. Napanji Thomas. I think you know her.
Yes.
So we got our little group going, and we're gonna be ready and happy. And I'm supposed to be
Awesome.
that hype woman, and we just gonna do this.
Oh God.
She said she the hype woman. What you mean? And I
Bring
didn't even notice.
everybody out.
And I
Bring
didn't even notice
everybody out.
we're matching. Did you notice?
Yeah,
we're wearing
I
that
noticed
royal
that.
blue today.
So, our floor director said we have 5 minutes to close. So thank you very much for coming, Rosalind. Thank you very much for Cynthia Thornton. Thank you very much for Marcus Cummings, all state representative candidates for the city of Detroit. And we do not endorse any candidate. We just invite you here and have a conversation. And this is Latrice Cash, also known as Cash Cam. See you Saturday. 4 p.m.
Wait. We not
Go
done
ahead.
yet. We got 5 more minutes.
Oh no, I'm giving it to you, honey. The rest is up to
Don't.
Dre.
Well, you sure you want to do that?
The rest is up to Dre.
Well, since
It's
we got
on you. Close it.
since we got Miss Auburn still here, I mean, let's keep the shenanigans going.
Okay, so
my
hopefully
thing is this.
Cynthia and Marcus are here. We want to take some pictures afterwards. I forgot to tell them, but you go ahead. You got 3 minutes. Do
Okay.
your thing.
July 31st. Money ends.
Yeah.
Rent due. Electrics due.
Yeah.
Cable and internet due.
Cell phone.
Water due.
Baby need diapers.
True.
All kind of things will be due.
Go get that free food.
So, at the end of the day, we have a government that's sitting here playing political games
Yes.
with people's lives. On top of, some of them are getting ready to go on break soon. So, if a deal isn't done soon, which one of those elected officials' house getting ran up in first? You know, and I mean, I hate to say it like that.
Because we're talking about the federal for the stimulus check.
yes,
I
yes,
just want to make sure I
Federal.
knew what you're talking about.
Federal, not your city,
No.
not your state officials.
No.
Because I know how some of y'all do. You don't understand what's going on sometimes,
Not
and you
your
get to
mayor.
hollering at the wrong people.
There we go.
I'm not
That's
worried.
it, yeah.
Don't even bring that up right now. 'Cause I'm not even talking about that. She said that. What she says is what she says. I'm in Dre Otis, a.k.a. Dre Otis. I speak for myself. But with that being said, I be damned.
How you like my prom dress, by the way?
Oh, did y'all see her prom? She had on a prom dress.
Hold on. Let me show my shoulder.
She has on
Yeah,
a
look,
prom
shimmy.
dress. She is ready to go on a date. She ready to go on to Applebee's somewhere.
Just Applebee's?
I mean,
Why not Black Rock or something?
first off, you shouldn't be going anywhere. Anywhere you go should be pick up and carry out.
Well,
You should be sitting inside of any coronavirus,
No,
COVID-19.
as long as she's outside with the air blowing, they're 6 feet apart. She's doing well.
Ladies and gentlemen, please don't fall for the bull. We're going to keep
say?
ourselves alive.
Don't
We're going to keep
fall
ourselves
for it.
straight.
And
If you don't want a hot ready, don't order the
I'm
pizza.
sick of hot readies. I want something different.
I mean, I get-
Mediterranean, soul food. Who make good soul
My
food?
thing is this,
People
I don't-
all on
My
Uber Eats.
mother
I don't want to sit outside eating no food.
You gotta make sure I had the address, cause
Yeah, everybody
want
know
some-
Mama Thompson cooks very well.
Mama
But I
Thompson
don't want to
be
sit
going
outside
down.
eating no food.
No, yeah, so we will be
Hey,
outside.
Roger, don't be looking at me like that, man. You look like you want to say end your show.
Yes, I was about to say we're gonna say a shout out to Roger because you know there's a party. We
I
have
got
an
a few
after
more
party
minutes, man.
afterwards, right?
It's an
You know you have the
after
after
party in
party,
the
so I want to say thank you for Roger for the invite for the after party.
I want my barbecue is on back. We
Yeah, I
gotta
heard of
go
some
do
hot
this.
dogs and some
So-
ribs and stuff going on.
So my name is Cash Cam, also known as Latrice Cash. Thank you for everyone that came. And this is WJZZ Cool TV. And what is this, Eandre Otis?
This is The Quarantine with Dre Otis and we out. Thank y'all for coming. This is another historic week. This is our second show. We had guests, as you can see. This ain't it, baby. We gonna keep grinding.
Yeah, we're going to keep it going.
If you want to keep our lights on, y'all can pay our bills.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how y'all gonna do it. You can send us a check.
Tune in.
Matter of fact, I heard one of our such esteemed leaders say that we